This a pandemic, but we don't listen to the news cause they lied to us for years, so how we know that this the truth? And most of us are young enough to think that we're immune, so we just pass it on to people who won't survive it like you. It's either worse than they're telling us or it's nothing at all. But the school's shut down, a ghost town in the mall. They gon' quarantine the city, block the road out of Dodge, then tell us leaving our homes is actually breaking the law. This is just the beginning, you know it's gotta get worse. If the doctors get sick, the hospitals won't work. The conspiracy theories all sound like facts, that's for sure, but the fact is we're trapped on this planet called Earth.
Alright guys, gonna get the build started on the Tamiya Midnight Pumpkin. So it looks like step 1 is just checking radio equipment to make sure that's gonna work. Step 2 is the servo mounts and servo saver. Step 3 is body mounts. Step 4 is attaching the servo. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work on those first 4 steps. Alright guys, I got the servo installed and the body mounts. So that's as far as we are so far. Alright guys, got the ESC installed, got the switch installed down there, and got the 2 tranny halves together, with the exception of the differential, which I'm going to be working on right now. And I'm going full ball bearings, of course, not using the plastic washers in this kit. I mean plastic bushings. Alright, so there's the diff assembled. Trying to turn it with one hand here. Grease that bad boy up and slap the transmission halves together after I put a couple more bearings in. And the tranny will be complete. And there is the completed trans. Bunch of grease packed in there. I put the whole tube in there so it's a little stiff, but that'll break in. Alright, I got the suspension mounts there. The ball ends mounted on the transmission. Got the wheelie bar, the wheel installed. Got the motor mounted up in there. On to the next step. Alright, so I got the transmission mounting hinge slide point deals installed there. Now I can take the transmission and slide it in there and start putting that thing together. So I just got the transmission installed and flipped the chassis over, and hopefully you can guess the problem. So we're going to correct that real quick. That's better. So there's the rear end and the suspension in all of its glory. That part's done. Move on to the next step. So I got the battery holder done. Got the front clip put on here. Got the steering linkages in place. Now I'm going to start on the front A-arms and suspension. Coming together pretty good. There's the 2 A-arms assembled with the axles and steering linkage. Front end is complete with shocks, A-arms, steering linkages, axles, bumper. Next step is wheels, I think. Well, there it is with tires and wheels on it, guys. It's looking pretty good. Just got body work to do basically now, putting that together, and that's about it. Probably going to stop for tonight though. Finish up the rest maybe tomorrow. Alright guys, got the body all done. Feast your eyes on this thing. That is a good looking RC right there. That is definitely 80s. Fun fact, this truck actually came out the year I was born, 87. The decals actually went pretty good for me doing them. I'm usually pretty terrible at that sort of thing, but they laid on there pretty good. And they're supposed to be notoriously difficult, those flame decals. Super excited to have this thing, guys. I remember I've been looking at these since, man, I don't know, early 2000s. I remember seeing them in Tower Hobbies catalogs, like, man, that is such a cool truck. And now I finally got one about 20 years later. So the only thing I'm waiting for is the XT60 to, well, I mean the soldering iron to heat up on the XT60. Thanks for following along with this build, guys. Look for the running video to come out pretty quick. First run in my driveway. Just gonna run it up and down the driveway a little bit here.